Hello, everyone. I pray that everybody is blessed and well. Today, I wanted to do a video on the reason why I left Christianity. And the video was based on a interaction that I had over the weekend. So basically, story time. So over the weekend, I was in the mall and I was shopping, and I was approached by a woman, and she basically came up to me and asked me a series of questions in which her and I had a conversation. And the question basically was, I don't remember word for word, but basically it was a question of, do I believe in Jesus Christ? Do I believe in God? Do I go to church? Did I have a bad experience at church? And basically, what my beliefs are. And I was so happy. I was so proud of myself because I was able to not only answer her questions, but for the very first time since, I would say, having a spiritual awakening, I was able to eloquently express my spiritual beliefs. And so here we are making a video. So basically, after the conversation went back and forth for a couple minutes, I basically was able to express this. These are my spiritual beliefs and why I left Christianity. Basically, I was able to express to the woman that I used to be a Christian all the way up until 2020, in which I had a spiritual awakening due to COVID. There were several things that happened, and I'll explain that later. But basically, I was able to explain to the woman that I believe in God, but I only believe in God as far as my beliefs. When I believe in God, and that the reason that I didn't leave the Christianity because I had a bad experience, that I actually had a wonderful experience. I had an amazing church in Portsmouth, Virginia, Fourth Baptist Church, Pastor Beeman. I just had an amazing experience. He gave me the opportunity to have ministry leadership, my children. It was an amazing experience. So no, I did not leave because I had a bad experience at church. And it's not that I don't believe in Jesus Christ, because I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that, he was a great example for every person to follow, the reason that I left Christianity is there were so many questions I had about Christianity that no one could answer. There were no one to answer the questions. I had questions about the Bible. I had questions about why leaders were able to have affairs with women in the church, and I just had so many questions, and no one was able to answer them. And then it's just like, I couldn't figure out, well, who was I praying to? Am I praying to God, Jesus Christ? And then, I don't know. It's just so many questions. And I've always questioned Christianity. I've always questioned not just Christianity, but since I was a very young child, always questioned just religion in general. I just had so many questions. I had a friend that was Mormon, and so I spent a lot of time with her and her family, and I just had questions. I just didn't understand why you couldn't buy things on Sunday. I don't know. And then I had a friend in high school that was Catholic, and I went to her. I'm not sure of I don't even want to mess it up. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just really don't remember. But I went to church with her. I'm not sure what this thing is. And again, I just had so many questions. Like, I don't know. It just didn't make sense. And then my mother was an Eastern Star. And so I was just like, well, what is that? Is that like a cult? I don't know. I just had so many questions. And so for me, I read the Bible. I had so many questions about the Bible. Like, I don't, it just in Genesis, like when one son killed the other son and then he had to leave, and God was talking to him and he was saying like, well, I can't go out there. They're going to know what I did. Well, who is the they? Who is the they if it was only Adam and Eve and they had two sons? Like, what? What? So there are a lot of, the Bible is a great book. It has a lot of good information that has really helped me. There's some Bible verses that, I swear by. And then there's some information in the Bible that I'm just like, and there's stuff that's missing. So like, who decides what is, and so, I don't know. I just, it didn't, so the conversation went very well. The woman asked me a lot of questions. She was persistent, but she wasn't rude. She wasn't pushy. And I answered her questions. And at the end, I wished her well, and we went on our way. And I just was so proud of myself because I was able to, since 2020, be able to finally express how I felt about, religion, Christianity, and just where I was spiritually. And so, I can say that, I don't, religion, if that is your belief, whatever your beliefs are, they're your beliefs. I don't challenge those, they're yours. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I have my own beliefs, and whatever works for you, that's what works for you. Everybody chooses their own experience. And so I chose to step away from Christianity and just have a spiritually based experience going forward. And what that means to me is that, I believe in God. It's me and God. I don't believe that heaven and hell are physical places. I believe that those are states of being. In my life, I've been in places, I've had experience that I said were like, man, like this has to be what heaven is like. It's like, this is heaven. This has to be what heaven is like. And then I've had experiences and times in my life where it's like, yo, this is hell. Like, this is hell. I don't wish this on anyone. This is hell. And so I personally don't want to wait, or don't feel like you have to wait until you die to experience heaven and hell. Those are states of being, and they exist in the now. And so I just pray to God, like it's just me and God, like God the creator, it's just me and him. Jesus is a great example. We should all love and not judge, and treat others as we want to be treated. I believe in those things. But like praying to Jesus, that's praying like Jesus was a man. Like in the Bible, we're not supposed to put man over God. And so again, that's confusing to me. So not that I don't believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that, there was a man, his name was Jesus, and he was here, and he was a great example. And he lived, this life. I'm not sure of the true life he lived, again, because I'm not sure what was really left out of the Bible, but what was presented in the Bible about the life that he lived, I think that's amazing. And believe in that. But I don't need to celebrate like Christmas as his birthday, because even that, Bible scholars say that his birthday really wasn't in December. So again, it's confusing. But I love Christmas. I love the lights, and I love ugly Christmas sweater parties and getting together, and having good fellowship. And my favorite meal, of course, is a Thanksgiving, Christmas meal. So yeah, but pretty excited, pretty happy, pretty proud of my growth and my progress, and to be able, again, to eloquently be able to express my beliefs at this time. And I lastly wanted to say how I came to those beliefs. Basically, 2020, COVID happened, and I was again Christian, practicing Christian. I went to church every Sunday. I was baptized, in high school, so I took communion, and I began to panic. I literally started having panic attacks when the world shut down and I couldn't go to church, and I just didn't understand how. For me, I enjoyed going to church. I loved going to church. I loved when I walked in, like the hairs would stand up on my body. I just enjoyed the singing, and praise dancing was my favorite ministry. I enjoy dancing, and so God spoke to me through music and dance, and so I just loved going to church, and that feeling that I got. I started to panic because I didn't know how I was going to get that feeling, not being able to go into a physical church. That was the first thing. So I started to panic. And then we had to take communion. And the pastor online, the church that I went to, was already broadcasting their services on Facebook Live. And so it was time for communion, and he said, hey, we're doing communion on Sunday. Go to the store and get your grape juice and get your crackers. And I was like, what? Okay, let me see how this is going to go. So church comes. I forgot the grape juice and crackers, I think. And then, thank goodness, because he said, well, if you don't have grape juice and crackers, just grab anything, whatever you have, something to drink, something to, that you can eat. What? Mind blown. Okay, so I get some juice and whatever I had, some cracker, I don't know. He blessed it, or we prayed. I prayed over it. I, broke the whatever, drank it, and and then something happened. I'm not sure. From that moment on, I was like, you mean to tell me I don't have to go to church to do communion? And then I started watching church online in the privacy of my bed, in my car, in my garage, and I still got the same feeling. And it's like, well, wait a minute, I don't even have to go to church. And then COVID lasted longer than what we expected. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, wanted to be baptized, and so that she could take communion. Because her older sisters were baptized, her mom was baptized, everybody was taking communion, she couldn't. And at the time, we were out of the country, we were in Puerto Rico, and my daughter wanted to be baptized so she can take communion. And I was having a conversation with her, which I'm not even sure how I came to this knowledge, but just telling her that, she didn't have to. Right now, church is closed. You can't go to church because of COVID, and so you can't be baptized at church. But baptism is really just it's a commitment between you and God, that you believe in Jesus Christ, and that you believe that he wrote, and all these things. But you don't have to do all that to have a relationship with God. You can still have a relationship. Like, I'm having a relationship with God right now, and I can't go to church, and I'm still taking communion, but I'm still doing those things myself. And so it just progressed into me discovering that you don't need the church, and that it's not about God. You don't even have to take communion. That it's literally about your relationship, you and God. And since that time, I think I may have been to church a couple of times after churches opened back up after during COVID. Once was for a funeral, and then a couple of times when I went back to Virginia. I would pop, anytime I was in Virginia and I was able to go to church to see my pastor, I always would. But outside of that, church is, I guess, within me and God, and we just commune every day. I don't wait until Sunday, and I, can get that good feeling whenever I want. And so that was my experience. And that's kind of where it started for me, practicing spirituality instead of Christianity. So that's my story, and I look forward to interacting with others who've had similar experiences. Just hearing from you guys. What are your thoughts? Did COVID change your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs? Let me know. Talk to you guys soon.